I'm Rabbi Andrew Ergis. I'm the CEO of Ivrit B'Merkaz. Pleased to welcome you here on behalf of both Ivrit B'Merkaz and Prizmah. When I spotlight you, just quickly introduce yourselves, and so at least we know who's around the table. So Tali, you.
Hi, yeah, I just need to unmute. My name is Tali Berkovich. I formerly worked for Edged Together as the Hebrew teacher, but I left Israel, and the time zone thing just didn't work anymore. I am in New York now as the Rakezet Ivrit for Schechter Manhattan, where we are moving towards a proficiency approach to language education, and I'm finding all the little obstacles in my path and slowly problem solving.
Thank you.
Alman Fogel. Hi, Cindy. I haven't seen you in a long time since your old days out here. I am the principal of Hank Plainview, soon to be Merkaz Academy. We are changing from being part of the Hebrew Academy of Nassau County to a standalone school, and therefore revisiting everything we do for quality across the board in ways we may or may not have done before. So we really, one of the gaps we've defined is Ivrit, not having a solid curriculum that we should, and wide open to move forward. So this was a wonderful opportunity because it's always difficult to find the Hebrew teachers as well.
Hi, I'm Cindy. I'm Cindy Dolgan, and I am new to the staff of Hebrew at the Center as the Director of Data Management and Analysis.
Thank you, Cindy. For what we'll do is for everyone else, we'll allow them to self-introduce. So that because the rest of us are all part of the presenting team. I don't need to tell you that it's been a challenging couple of years. We know it's been challenging to find talent in almost every area and subject. We're also appreciative that COVID created some unique challenges for our Hebrew language faculty. In many cases, many of our Hebrew teachers were not the primary breadwinner in their family. In some cases, a primarily Israeli-American community that makes up much of the teachers in the Jewish day school space realized this was the opportunity to go back. And even those people who stayed, as somebody who's married to the upper school director at a Jewish day school in Brooklyn, it's been, people are leaving in the middle of the year. It's just been too much, and we know that it's been a real challenge for all of you who are leaders. So while we have been working closely with Prizmah, in fact, recently had a think tank to think about some of the structural issues and new creative solutions for the long term, we wanted to put together this complimentary seminar to at least let you know there are real solutions in the short term to think about how do you bring excellent Hebrew educators onto your team to help advance student outcomes and advance your vision for what Jewish life can and should be like here in North America. So what we're going to hear today is from actually three of our partners. You'll be hearing first from my colleague Ilan Friedman, who's going to talk about the Morim Shlichim project that is run by the WZO. We'll then hear from Galia Phillip, who will be speaking about Talent Ed and the work that they do. You'll then hear from my colleague R.A. Eisenberg and the way Edge Together brings talented teachers who live in Israel into your schools. Today we'll talk about Hebrew, but I'm sure R.A. will let you know they can help in many other areas as well. And then I'll complete the presentations. I'm talking about the new teachers boot camp that we run in August for those last minute hires when you realize here's somebody who brings a lot of energy and excitement, but really is not yet ready to be in front of a group of students. And yet, you know, you need to put somebody in the classroom. Sherry, welcome. If you just want to introduce yourself, let us know where you're from, then we'll get started.
Hi, I'm Sherry. I'm from the Weber School in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm the Hebrew department chair, and like everyone else, we're looking for good Hebrew teachers.
Great. Well, Sherry, wonderful to have you here with us. So with that, let me turn it over to Ilan.
Hello, I'm going to share a presentation. Okay. Okay. One more second to get it to present itself. Here we go, I think. Okay. Hello, everyone. Ilan Friedman, World Zionist Organization. I'm now on Shlichut myself. I'm based in New Jersey. We have an office in New York, and I'm in charge of the Shlichim Morim program all over North America. So who's on our program? These are all our Shlichim as of today. 130 Shlichim spread out around North America, and another 100 of them spread out around the world. I didn't bring you that picture because we're based on the North America system. We have them teaching, most of them are teaching Hebrew. I'd say a higher percentage of them teaching in lower schools and a lower percentage teaching in high schools, but we still have all ages of schools, and some of them teaching some various other Jewish studies, mainly Hebrew and Jewish studies. They are all professional teachers, certified. They've all gone through the training of Misrad HaChinuch, the Ministry of Education in Israel, and only after that they can join our program. They're experienced. They have to have at least 2 years of experience to apply. And once they apply, we're looking for the people who want to make an impact, the people who have this inspiring, the spark in their eyes. They want to do something. They want to come and change the world. These are the people who have some kind of added value, the value that they speak Hebrew from birth. They know the language, they use it. When they speak to the kids, to their own kids in the classroom or in the corridor or to their colleagues, they're speaking in Hebrew. And these are people who have Jewish values. They come with it, they are caring about it. How do I know that they have it? So I screen them. We get applicants from all over, we advertise. We have applicants. We had an event for applicants about 3 weeks ago with about 1,500 people arriving in real life, a real event, coming to apply to the program. Not all of them are going to go through the process, of course, but some of them will, and some of them will pass it. Three-stage process, which will include, they'll have a personal interview, they will meet a psychologist, who will give us some kind of analysis if they're suitable for our program. And they will go through group dynamic sessions. We'll watch them presenting and we'll watch how they do it. And then we'll make a decision if they are suitable in general for the program. In general for the program, we'll accept them if we think that they're suitable for first grade and for 12th grade. If they're suitable for a small school and a big school, we'll bring them all in. And then we'll start doing the harder work, I think, which is matching. Okay, what do we give to the process? We give the screening, as I said, and then we start the matchmaking. I think that's the most important session here. If we can understand from you what the needs are, and we manage to meet those needs with the right person, that's our matchmaking, and that's the solution for most of the needs. We will give them additional training before they actually go on Shlichut. It will be a few days of training in Israel before July, and in July, we will give them a 5-day seminar of all the things that we think that they need. Many of the people lecturing at this seminar are going to be heads of schools from North America who are presenting what they expect from teachers and how they've actually worked successfully with other teachers. After that, we will continue giving them guidance, support, and I'd say one of the main things we'll continue giving them motivation during the Shlichut. We find that the first few months especially, but sometimes even further on, we need to push them and get them to keep the spark going and to actually make the impact. We're there for them, and guidance and support all along. We will also supply them with additional educational materials. that will bring boosting to their teaching. We'll bring them things like the huge map of Israel, or programs that have all sorts of films and barcodes and all the modern tech. We'll give them programs. I don't say they're going to use all the programs. We're going to give them programs. They will make sure with you that the programs are suitable for the school and suitable for your needs. If they are, enjoy them. And we often get requests from schools who say, can you find us a way to get this kind or that kind of program? We're here also for that. Another important thing that we do for some schools, might be the most important thing that we do, is that we actually have the sponsorship of a J1 visa. The J1 visa allows you to be the employer. You will define how much they're paid, how they're paid, and they go through our system as a sponsor for the program of the visa. The visa will be J1 for a teacher and J2 for a spouse. So if they're both teachers, they'll both get a J1. And we give them status recognition in the Ministry of Education in Israel. It's important to them to be recognized that they continued working. When they reach their pension, it will be as if they continued working during these years. They haven't missed anything. So that's something unique that we can actually give them. What's the process? Once you've decided you want them, we need you to apply and basically define your needs. We want to read and speak to you. What are the needs? How will it work for you best? And then we will start answering you. You'll do the blue, I'll do the green. We will send you resumes, but not only resumes, because we understand that the resumes in writing don't actually bring enough information. It's a lot of information. We've added two things: a personal video where this candidate will present themselves and tell their own story on video, so that you can actually feel how they are a bit, and a professional video. We filmed them in class for 10 minutes of doing something in their lesson. It means that even before you actually decide to interview them, you quite know who you're going towards. And we've opened up, this is for the people who we push forward to you. We have also opened up that you can see all our candidates who have gone through the system, and you can pick and choose. You can say, okay, you sent me these three, but I actually see that there's another one who might be suitable for me. You'll see all their resumes and you'll be able to tell us, I'd like to interview that person. We will forward you the videos of them, and you will be able to continue interviewing them too. Then you will do the blue, as I said. So you'll do the interviews, and once you've chosen whoever your best match is, you will prepare the contract for them. Once you have a contract signed with them, we will take care of the J1 teacher visa, we will take care of the training, and we will do a lot of logistical support, preparing them to come to America and be in America before they actually come. 3 questions I always get, I'm open for many more, of course. How long do they stay? They're allowed to stay based on the visa program for 3 years, extendable for a 4th year easily, extendable for a 5th year complicated, but can be done. When can they come? They will usually finish teaching in Israel at the end of June. They'll be trained by us in the first week of July. They're ready to go usually during August or the end of July. And who defines their HR details? We will send you suggestions on how to do it, but you are the ones who define how much they get and how they get it, with our advice. This is my contact information. You can scan it and you will have my business card in your phone on the spot. And I think that's it for now.
Wonderful. We have a minute or two for a question or two.
I was too clear.
Yes, I would ask, just what's the general cost that we're looking at? Obviously, it's not specific, it depends on the person.
It doesn't really depend on as much on the person. It more depends on where you are. I mean, the cost in New York is not going to be the cost in Atlanta, right? The cost of living is different, and that I can't define from being in the office here. I will send you what the criteria are that you need to take care of. In the end of the day, they have to live like an average person in the community and have all their needs supplied. How much is that worth? I'll help you work out in your local terms.
Thank you.
Elon, thank you so much. Let's, we'll now switch over to Galia Philip, who will share with us information about the talent educators.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Galia. I'm the North America Director, and I'm working with talent educators. Yael is here. Yael is our Chief Officer. And my goal today is tell you about talent educators and what we can offer. Basically, Talent Educators is a global nonprofit organization that, along with Israel's Ministry of the Diaspora and the Jewish Agency for Israel, aims to recruit gifted and talented educators. And I just want to emphasize the word educators. It's not only teachers, it's, I will say, persons that has the desire, the love, the passion to learn and to teach and to dive into the Jewish education world and help match them with Jewish studies or Hebrew language educational position, informal and informal education. Working with talent educators means that your organization would be profiled so that we can best understand your specific needs and allow you to benefit from our inclusive and fully funded services. When I'm saying our services, we are basically dealing not only with teachers, certified teachers, or professional teachers that came and teach the language. We are also looking for people that wants to change career. Some that has decided that they want to come and contribute to the Jewish community. We are able to take those people that really want to come and help us to strengthen the Jewish community and our roots and our identity, and help develop a program for them, a personal program, I will say, that they can, we will give them the pedagogical tools, we will give them some knowledge if it's missing, and we will support almost 2 years of personal and basic, on a weekly base, mentoring that those people will be the best educators and will help the school to grow and be for long term. It means that not all of them has to be certified teachers. They can come without sometimes not academic background or different academic background, and we will do the transition. We will give them the fully support. And this is something that I think it's very unique to talent educators. For us, training and mentoring program who is eligible, each new teacher was found suitable for a teaching position, and the school signed the employment contract with him. We will give this program. The training program focuses on providing pedagogical tools and teaching skills, as well as imparting content knowledge, as I mentioned before. The program is tailored to the requirements of the school, the philosophical academic conception of the school, and the needs of the candidates. Each candidate is will be accompanied by a personal mentor who will help him to develop his learning process, and until we will know that he is able to work independently and be able to stand in the classroom and give a whole full lesson and engage all, I will say, all students. We will be there for the teacher and for the school. Also, we are working very closely with all schools in order to understand how is the process, how we grow together. And we are sending twice a year a survey to the mentors, to the head of schools, and to the teacher, to our fellow, to understand if we are meeting the requirements of the school and the candidate as well. I think I brought everything up. It was much easier when I say Ivrit be'Ivrit. And I know the challenge from my own experience as an working at the education field. And I think to find some good people to work in Jewish education, it's a big challenge. I will say, for me, I always said that was the afikoman. We have to find those people, but when we found them and we train them well, we can have so many good professional educators that we can be proud of the product that we create. I just want to say that last year we placed 80 local people that are still working successfully in their positions.
And 6 of them went to the new Hebrew teacher boot camp that Andrew's going to talk about at the end last summer.
So I will ask Yael kindly to put my Calendly link, then I will inviting you to meet with me, and I will be happy to share more about our program and see how we can work together.
Yeah, and the process is pretty simple in terms of next steps. We want to learn about your school. We want to understand what your needs are. As Galia mentioned, we are fully funded by the Ministry of Diaspora Affairs in partnership with the Jewish Agency for Israel, and we help find you people who are local, who match the needs of your school or institution, and then we fund personalized training for them, sometimes through Hebrew at the Center and their wonderful proficiency approach.
Thank you, Galia and Yael. Are there any questions that that individuals have? Well, wonderful. We'll have a little bit of time at the end for additional questions that may surface. And of course, we'll also be sharing with everyone the contact information via an email. So with that, what I'd like to do is switch it over to R.A. Eisenberg from EduTogether.
So great to see everybody. It's nice to see a lot of familiar faces in this meeting today. I first of all want to say it seems that all great things Israel education have to originate from Modi'in, where I live. Ilan Friedman is my neighbor who lives a couple blocks away, and Haroni Carmel, who I know works with Yael and Galia. I actually met him for the first time. He used to live across the street from me in Modi'in as well. So, I think it just goes to show you where all great things start from. So a little bit about EduTogether, and it's nice to see so many familiar faces. Like I said, I had this crazy idea about 10 years ago. I said, let's use online conferencing to bring teachers and to bring students to combine technology, to combine great teaching, and let's move some classes online. And people looked at me like I was insane, like how is this going to work? I won't say haha, but I'll say fast forward, and unfortunately, we've all been through the COVID time, and now everybody does online learning. But really, what we bring to the table, what EduTogether does, is we really do it. Really, what I'll say is the ideal and optimal way of carrying it out. Obviously, everybody would prefer to have in-person teachers in their building. We get it, we know it, but we also know that especially when it comes to things like Ivrit and other subjects, it's not always possible, or sometimes it might be possible, but you might not be so thrilled with the local options. And what we do at Edu Together is we really provide, I said to my assistant, I want our tagline to be the best second option. And she looked at me and said, no, we can't say that, but it really is true, because that's really where we see ourselves. Obviously, in an ideal world, we'd be able to take all the great teachers here in Israel and just bring them over to the US or to the UK or wherever they're needed. But we can't do that. So at Edu Together, we really take the student-centered, personalized approach to online learning. We work with you and your school, your staff, and most importantly, your students to really get the best academic results. Everything that we do is personalized to the touch. From the type of teacher that we bring to your school, to the curriculum options, to the way the classes run. It really is done as a partnership together with you. When we started this 10 years ago, people thought that this was crazy, but I can tell you today, this school year, we are working with approximately 75 Jewish day schools, most of them in North America. We work with a growing number of non-Jewish schools as well. And as far as Hebrew language, we're providing Hebrew language classes to about 20 or so Jewish day schools around mostly in North America. This is really our approach. Like I said, our approach is a personalized one. All of our classes take place live in real time, according to your schedule, according to your needs. So our faculty, first of all, is professional and experienced. Tali Berkovich is here with Schechter Manhattan. We were very happy for Tali for getting the amazing experience to go back to the United States, but we were very sad because Tali was a teacher on our staff last year and was amazing. We're able to introduce a lot of times a really wider range of subjects. Schools bring us in for Ivrit for all sorts of different reasons. It could be because just of a general staffing need, but it could also be because you have students in your school who are Israeli and need a program that you just can't provide in-house. Or it could be that you have students who are so low level and can't read the alphabet that they just don't match with what's going on in the building. Again, that's where we will really sit down with you and we will really help you. We deal a lot in Jewish day schools. I know you've all never experienced scheduling conflicts and teacher shortages, but those are things that we deal with every single day. We've been a really nice proven solution for lower level and higher level students, like I said, on both ends. And, again, everything is really done to meet your needs, your standards, and your approach. People ask me all the time, what are you? Are you for high level students? Do you use this curriculum or that curriculum? And our answer is yes to all of the above. We have teachers on our staff who have been doing this a long time. Some of them are, certified in Bishvil HaIvrit. Some of them are Aitalam people. Some of them, will bring it out of the box and create their own thing if that's what a school's looking for. And again, that's something we talk about. And as Andrew said, obviously Hebrew language is really the heart and soul of what we do because we are based here in Israel and, we are here to, that's really what we started out to support. But I'll say, Rabbi Fogel, I see, from Hank Plainview, we actually work with Hank, I'll give you another example. We work with the Hank High School. Their students are taking AP Chemistry with Edu Together, which is being taught by an Israeli AP Chemistry teacher from the Weizmann Institute. And those are things that, we're really able to do because we're here in Israel. Most of our Ivrit teachers have spent time in Chutz La'aretz, whether it be the US or the UK or South Africa, either as shlichim or for other reasons. They're all trained teachers and really leaders in their field. And like I said before, we're really here to be an extension of your school's academic program. We're not looking to bring in our own ideas. We're here to help support yours. We are a fully accredited school as well. So even, if you have students who are doing this outside of school for whatever reason, we're an accredited institution. And if anybody wants to talk more, Galia, I'm going to steal your idea. You mentioned before, I'll put this in the chat box. If you come to our website, there's this great button here, which will lead you straight to my Calendly, and you can set up a time. I will say that if anybody is, really wants to get creative, I am leaving for the States actually on Sunday, Bezrat Hashem, and I will be in New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Baltimore. I don't know where else I'm going. I can never remember, but if anybody's on my travels and wants to meet up either on Zoom or in person, happy to try to make time. But again, you know, Edu Together, really our name says it all. It's about the togetherness. It's about the partnership. And, you know, we've had a lot of success with Hebrew language and with Limudei Kodesh and with really everything we do. And it's really about creating that partnership so that our programs really become part of your school and your programs. So that's Edu Together. And if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them now, or you can get in touch with me later on. Ilan, I think I'm like you.
I don't really have a question, but I do want to say something important about what Aryeh said, where he said we're like the next best option. That I really feel like, as somebody who's been teaching online and teaches in person, I even think that there are students who benefit from the online model, because one thing Edu Together does not try to do is they don't try to create a classroom online. They recognize the fact that this is a different medium of education, and therefore we use different resources and different strategies. And I can't tell you the amount of PD related to new apps and different software that is out there that has been tremendous. Especially, I got the class with the kids with special needs, like a classroom of like kids who've been in Jewish day school for 9 years and still don't know all the Otiot Sofiot, kind of a situation. And I think that they were actually more successful with certain things online than they had been in person. And it's important to recognize that, even as I think about my own program and we're thinking about how to remediate for the students who are not thriving in the classroom, we are thinking about an online kind of hybrid model for them, because we think that the attraction, the engagement, and the more one-on-oneness of the screen in front of you might actually lead them to higher rates of success.
Tali, thank you so much for pointing that out. And I think you had a challenging class last year, I remember, but you did an amazing job with them. And I think that, you're right. The amount of training that Edu Together brings to the staff, and the amount of pedagogy and the amount of support, this isn't a one-person effort, and I don't think there is an educational project that is a one-man show or a one-person show. I think it all is a collaborative effort, and that's really the approach that we take. And Tali, when you come back to Israel, we'll talk. We have another special class for you. It really means a lot, Tali. So thank you for pointing that out, and we're happy to have initiated you into the online world. So thank you. I'm going to put in the chat box the link to our website. If anybody wants to follow up, you're more than welcome to. And thank you, everybody. It was great to see so many familiar and new faces.
Great, thank you, Aryeh. Was there? I thought there was somebody else who had a question, perhaps for Aryeh. Great.
Okay.
So I will now be pleased to tell you a little bit about the, when I was at a school myself, and the individuals that you're talking to in July versus February. Sometimes a family moves into your community, and they bring all of the skills that you would want, all of the credentials, all of the experience, and then sometimes they show up and they're going to be really a good fit for your school community. They're a good fit for students, but you need to give them that boost to ensure that they have a successful beginning. So we were pleased to develop this project, which we call the New Hebrew Teachers Boot Camp, with our colleagues at JNTP, to really understand what are the basic needs of somebody to launch effectively and to be inducted into this type of work. And of course, we're able to do this program with Hebrew as the language of instruction to really maximize the kind of impact. It's a 3-day intensive virtual workshop. It's led by our top pedagogues, including our staff who are certified JNTP mentors and who've been working with our team for some time. We're really focusing on approaches and tools that they can use right away, but they are anchored in theory and best practice. We really want to make certain that their first days and weeks are going to be positive so that they can begin to build a sense of rhythm before then school ends for the Chagim. They can take the break and you can focus on strengthening their skills. We also know that for many of them, they need general education pedagogy. They need second language acquisition pedagogy. And of course, they need Hebrew language learning skills. We do this in an intimate setting. It's a set number of individuals that can sign up so that they have the experience and learn the benefit of a community of practice that can continue after the boot camp to support one another. And it is really designed for those beginning Hebrew teachers. However, we also know sometimes you might have a teacher who's worked for you for a year or even two, and you want them to be deeply immersed in the proficiency approach. And we can do that as well. Teachers leave this course with really fundamental principles of Hebrew teaching. They understand the proficiency approach concept and then how to apply it in the classroom. And we use samples from a wide range of existing curriculum, knowing that in most cases, they're going to need to work with something that already exists, but we want to help them understand how do you take something that is off the shelf and bring the proficiency approach. We're giving them real practical and theoretical teaching tools. They will leave with sample lesson plans for those first few weeks of school and ideas for additional lesson plans. Obviously, they now have a community of colleagues, both the other participants as well as our faculty. And they leave with a certificate, something that allows them to be recognized for what they've accomplished. We also know that the schools have a benefit. You will have the benefit of knowing that you have a new teacher who's going to be more confident and more capable. This runs August 2nd through the 4th. I think everybody on today's call is in the Northeast, with the exception of Atlanta. We know that the Atlanta schools start a little bit earlier. There has been interest of also doing this boot camp in the last week of July. If we have enough interest, we'll be happy to replicate this. Once again, it's a small, intimate program. It's fairly intensive, and it's a limited number, so there's a cost involved for the 18 hours of instruction, as well as to access to asynchronous tools. It's $749 per person. Those schools that are part of the Prizmah network or that are part of the HATC membership program receive a $10% discount on this. And later on today, I'll be happy to send everyone 2 registration links. One that you can use if you're signing someone up and you want to put their name in and pay for it, or you want to grab a spot because you don't yet know who you're going to find, but you'd want to make certain that you have access to this spot, as well as a link that you can send to an individual and they can fill it out, but they don't have to actually worry about the payment. So that's a bit about our new Hebrew teachers boot camp. Be happy to take a moment or two for any general questions, and then we'll open the floor up to questions from any of our partners.
I guess I would ask, do you work on a particular educational platform, like an ITALAM platform, or it's just in the boot camp, or it's just a general teaching?
So approximately 2/3 of the Jewish day schools teaching modern Hebrew are using Talam or ITALAM. Approximately 2/3 are using Bishvil. So not only are all of our faculty fully familiar with these, we use examples from these well-known, as well as Chavevrim B'Ivrit, a few of the other generally used materials, so that they are familiar, but we're not going to take them into those digital platforms. Rather, we're going to begin to show them how to unpack and utilize these in general, and then how to bring the proficiency approach. We know that many schools are trying to make certain that the students are not just learning how to be performative in Hebrew, but actually begin to move towards proficiency. It's wonderful to successfully fill out a worksheet about how to order food from a pundak in Israel. But if they actually haven't learned how to use the language in a spontaneous, natural environment, if they show up and the items that they want to eat are not on the worksheet, then we have a problem.
The Jewish approach still centers around food.
Absolutely.
Is that even a question?
Statement of priorities.
Any other general questions about either the new Hebrew Teachers Boot Camp or any of these 4 solutions that we know are not going to solve the fundamental structural issues that will continue to remain? And we are obviously in partnership with Prizmah and others looking to think about that. But in the short term, we think each one of these different approaches brings some real benefit to the immediacy of our needs, or some of the special needs that individuals will have. I will be, happy to throw yet another shout out to Aryeh. When I was out of school, I had a student whose parent was a diplomat, was only going to be in the States for a year, and we needed somebody to continue working with the exact same textbooks. So they go back and would not lose a year of education. And it was a really wonderful, very early on solution.
I think we were still in WebEx back then, Andrew. Those were the old days, but not too old. But yeah.
So if there aren't any other questions, we want to really, first of all, thank you all for taking some time to learn about this, these different options. It's a real pleasure. I know I'm speaking for Ilan and for Yael, for Galia, for Aryeh. It's a real pleasure that we're able to work together to really support the field and to bring different types of solutions together. And we all do different projects together as well. We're told by Ibn Ezra that the reason that day 6 was Tov Ma'od is because it's sort of an Aristotelian thinking that the whole can be greater than the sum of the parts, and we want to recognize that. We're all a part of the whole. We know how hard the work is right in general, but in particular right now. So please feel free to reach out to us, any of us, in terms of how we can help you. We will send you everyone's contact information by email. We'll also send you a link to this recording. There may be someone else in your school who you want to show them something about one or more of these different offerings, and then they have the opportunity to get the formal presentation. A huge shout out to our colleagues at Prizmah, who are working with all of us to strengthen the field. And we wish everyone, depending upon where you are, warmth, and for everyone, absolutely plenty of health as we move forward in the second half of this academic year.
Amen.
With that, we'll bring our webinar to a close, and we look forward to our next time together.
Thank you very much.
Take care,
Thank you.
everybody. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Bye.